Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to the very first episode of Football Connect, and I'm your host Shumail Sajid, joining alongside with Ahad Heather, and today we would be connecting with a very special guest all the way from Australia, Claudio Altieri, who currently is working as a performance coach with the Pakistan national team. And today we will put him to our questions and know about him, his work and his time in Pakistan. So Claudio, starting with tell us something about yourself and how did the South American end up in football and then find himself around the globe and then finally settling up in Australia.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you guys for making this. I think it's very important for people in Pakistan to listen to more football, watch more football, and be connected to football. So thank you. And I'm sure in Pakistan you have great practitioners like myself that they can share some experiences as well. Um, Great question about South American traveling the world with football. I think football it's a language, is I would say maybe a religion or a kind of a hub where we all unite together. So there is no limits, there is no countries, there is no passports. There is only one goal and one target, which is you know I guess have the passion for the game, go for the game, get enthusiastic about the game, and go and explore about the game even more and more. I went to the performance side. I went to the strength and conditioning side. So I came to Australia to learn English at the very beginning, but I ended up in yeah, I ended up having my life, part of my adulthood here. And as we know, Australia is very, very strong in sports science. So I completed a master degree later on, and then I had a few opportunities here in the Australian National University as a performance coach, and then that's when in 2016 when Coach Steven called me for the Indian national team. Then I went to India, and then I connected with him. We did a great job. I did a great job. I think I did a great job in there for a year. Then I moved to China with a club for 2.5 years. Then the pandemic hit, and then I traveled. I went ended up last year in the US, and I now I'm with Pakistan after the call from Coach Steven last year, October last year. He called me. He's in my contract in the US was getting running out. We didn't make it to playoff, so I decided to join him again back in Pakistan to achieve amazing goals and targets. So that's a
So
little bit of the summary of how I ended up in Pakistan. But home, it's in Melbourne. So I'm here in Melbourne right
that's
now.
awesome.
When I have games, I fly to Pakistan.
So just want to shed some light about you coming to Pakistan and with the national team. So how has your experience been so far working with Stephen and the Pakistan national team, like the people who are involved in the set? So how has then been like that been like working with Stephen and the national team as a whole, the staff, the members, everyone involved?
Sure. Well, first of all, we need to understand that the national team is a high demand environment. It's a competition. We're representing. I call it my country too. Okay, when I wear this one here, so when I represent the country, it's you have that bag of you representing teachers at school, doctors in the hospital, the police, you guys, everyone. So you have that pressure that you have to deliver every day in training session, and not in training session only, but also when you're around people. So in terms of people, I found amazing people and very welcoming to the culture, very welcoming to the religion, very welcoming to the city, Islamabad. They took us, for instance, I think 6 weeks ago to, I forgot the name, but it's
Uh,
a
Mar- the Margala,
yeah,
up the Margala.
yeah, it was beautiful. So in terms of people, I cannot say, and I cannot be more grateful because we I feel like a family with the players as well. Of course, we're a family when we are in camp. We all act, we all eat together at the same time. We all interact when we travel. I listen to your music, so or our music, you know. So that's in terms of the environment. With Coach Steven, it's a coach that is very extremely competitive, and he's very demanding for players, for staff, and obviously we have to deliver. Players they have to deliver. We as a staff have to deliver, and we do anything and everything for him because at the same time, even if you work under pressure, he's an amazing human being where if you have an issue or anything like that, he will listen to you and he will do anything to help you. When I say anything, it's just my experiences with him are speechless. So so you have a little bit of combination of pressure and then the downtime. You know, when you go for a tea, then you have a little bit of amazing tea, by the way, that you have the chai, and so you have that moments where you can relax a little bit, talk about the sessions, especially in the evenings when the day is over.
That's amazing. So, what would a typical Claudio Altieri session look like for the Pakistan national team on the daily?
Yeah, sure. It depends. Obviously, we gotta remember that I work backwards. So you have the second game of the FIFA World Cup, and then you go the first game, and then you have a certain amount of days. Let's call it 20. So you work from high volume or sort of medium volume and sort of medium intensity, and then you tape it down to okay, low volume, low intensity to be ready for the game, if that makes sense. A
Okay.
day at the very beginning, we'll start with testing. Okay. So apart from the testing, we do something called an daily assessments or daily screening for the players, where we track a little bit of how they sleep, how's the stress level, if they need anything, if there is any soreness. So with that number, then that we record as a staff, not only me. I gotta thank a lot the physios and the assistant coach Ali for this. Then we go into the field that day. We do a testing, so we do a fitness test, agility test, and a strength test if possible in the gym. And then we move on with that. I get a data and I present it to coach, and then from there we say, okay. Usually, coach most likely it's 2 sessions per day. So that one in the morning and evening, they gotta kind of match up for what he's looking for, of course, like, tactically, and myself physically. So we sit down every day. We do a weekly program, and then we go from there weekly, and then maybe 2 weeks, whatever needs to be done, and then in that kind of program, I add the flights or the traveling or a day off or an activity that the team might have to do.
Yeah. Claudio, recently we have seen a surge of data-driven football in the modern game. And how do you think it is shaping the modern football, and how a country like Pakistan is embracing it? In your experience, definitely. And how easy it is for the coaches to adapt to the new norms of data and performance analysis in the game?
Yeah. In terms of performance analysis, for a practitioner like myself, is more to understand the movements, the biomechanics, let's say, of the players. So if I will give an example, if he's a left back and then he needs to overlap, then I will straight away see it from the performance analyst, and I will understand that he needs a repetitive times of high speed runs during the game. Okay, whereas maybe a center back might not, but he might need a certain amount of jumps or backward runs. So for me as a practitioner, I'll break down the performance analysis into the strength and conditioning word. Okay. Obviously, for an assistant coach, this is different. This is more like, okay, weaknesses and strength for on a different team and from us. Okay. In terms of technology you mentioned and data, I think GPS has helped us, something that we are in the process for Pakistan to get units, GPS units, but we're in the process to get it. And the GPS will definitely help me. It's a tool that help me to see where the players are physically and the demands of the game. So by the time we reach the game, then the play is ready for it because we build every single parameter into the to get ready into the game. Football evolving, if I understand this question well, yes, it is. I think we see the difference between maybe 10, 12 years ago to today. Plays more robust, a little bit more with upgraded muscle mass, faster than before, and this is due to strength work. I gotta call it. This is time in the gym, time in the gym, not doing bodybuilding programming, but football specific type of exercises that they will help for the game. Now, I gotta clear this. Football specific exercises doesn't mean that we need to kick the ball in the gym or anything like that, but very simple stuff as a back squat, a deadlift. Then the numbers of sets and repetitions and resting time will determine if it's a strength part or power or anything like that. So the programming it comes becomes really important. And a player today doesn't need to spend 45 minutes in the gym, 20 minutes a day, 25 mobility, 2 3 exercises, go. And if we do it every day, perfect. We are in the sweet spot to get what we want. I don't know if this replies a little bit of the question.
Covers all of it.
Mhm.
So moving forward, since we as the Pakistan national team or the federation itself, we're in a bit of a peculiar situation because there's no league. So, like, my question is that what would you comment on, like, what is the difference in the players who are playing regular football and the ones who aren't, and how do you say, like, how would you adjust to that in the national team? So that's kind of like what my question is.
No, yeah, that is a great question. And as you said, it's a little bit unlucky that Pakistan, with uh, the amount of people, not only players. Let's forget players for a moment, or not forget, but let's put it on the side for a moment. But how great would be to have, I don't know, 10 to 15 games, and then everyone goes to the stadium on a Sunday or on a Saturday. I think that will bring families together, similar to what happens with the cricket. Yeah. And then growing up for young kids, then they will be looking at, they'll be looking at football, and instead of sometimes going to play cricket on the streets or in the parks, then they will play football. So that will bring the talent up automatically. In terms of the players, the players not playing constant games, it's a huge impact. Imagine, like, if I have a player, and I will mention, maybe not, but if I got we got players that they play, let's say 30 games minimum. That's standard, 30, 35, maybe 40 with friendly games per year. So in 52 weeks, that's huge of an improvement. So that he will not only understand how he needs to prepare himself to go into the field, but also in terms of coaching, in terms of physical attributes, he's basically ready. So when a player that comes, say a diaspora player comes from to the camp, it's on the sweet spot that we talk. We just need to maintain here and there, adjust the timing, the food, but it's ready to go because he's playing. A player that plays every now and then, and I would say, let's give an example: a 90 minutes game in the last match against Jordan, and then doesn't play until the next game against Saudi. Then it's hard. It's hard because you need to be on top of programming. And to be honest with you, as much as runs I can send, programming I can send, the game itself is needed to have that football fitness maybe, and kind of cognitive part where he's aware of what's happening in the game. So
Yeah,
training is not, doesn't always represent the the game scenario, especially
Exactly.
international games.
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. My next question is more of a general nature. Recently, we have seen a surge of on-field injuries, including the ACL tears and on-field collapses. Also, we saw one against in the Premier League recently, and that of the Christian Eriksen in the Euro. One of your job is to connect the rehab and the medical team with the player's performance on the pitch. What do you think is the reason to this surge in injuries, and how do you think a footballing infrastructure like Pakistan copes up with this? Uh,
Sure.
Basically, we do not have that much of medical facilities in our country in terms of football. So, how do you think we cope up with this, and what's the reason behind it?
Yeah, sure. Look, as I mentioned before, I'm very lucky that I work very well, I can say, with the current physio, the doctor. So they understand the performance, they understand what needs to be done in the field, and I also kind of understand, let's say, obviously it's not my specialty, but the injury part. Um, in terms of infrastructure, I think there is in Islamabad a nice gymnasium in the stadium that you can get a lot done. So you can implement a pre-activation, and we do it, a pre-activation kind of session before the players go into the field. Okay, and more than, I call it pre-activation. A lot of people call it prehab. Okay, I don't like that terminology. Okay, but what we normally do is, like, I will give you an example. If on midweek or mid camp, we understand that we need to hit high loads, a lot of high speed runs, I automatically understand that the hamstrings are going to be targeting there. Okay. So what I will do in the morning session, or before the 15-20 minutes before going into the field, is just to really activate the hamstrings, go into exercise prescription where I target the maybe an isometric part for the hamstrings to cope with that with that load. And then when we go to the field, we're ready for it. In terms of injuries, I sadly I have to say that we cannot we cannot prevent 100% of the injuries. It's impossible. It's a sport. It's a contact sport where they go 1v1s, where they jump and then suddenly someone pushes you and you land poorly, and something will happen. The grass, the travels. So you have a few parameters in there that they condition this prevention of injury. Now, what we can definitely do is peak performance, and by peaking performance and getting the player ready to get into the best shape that they can be. When I say best shape, it doesn't mean a six pack in front of the mirror, but ready for the game. Then your injuries automatically will decrease. Okay, so my mission now, while I'm in Melbourne, as well as being with my daughter, is to read a lot of papers. Is just to get into programming when now I think in a week also the programming will start, and then get in touch with the players, and like, that's my goal. Exercises that I used to do in October, I don't do it anymore because the research is advanced, believe it or not, in 6 months. And I understand the context now. I understand where players maybe they travel from, where the players live, and then the nutrition part. So I adjust into that. So that contributes a lot into the prevention of injuries. If that is the question, I don't know if I
That is
replied.
the question. So, just
Okay.
to again bring up this one more thing. So, as you know, it was when the Jordan match was happening. We were at that time, a lot of, if not most of the players were were observing Ramzan. So, as you know, like this is still a challenge. So, what would you say, like, what's the biggest challenge when it comes to the Pakistan team for your work? Since in the last camp you had Ramzan, and also your insight on that, which we read, was amazing. So, do you reckon that for now this has been one of, if not the biggest challenge in your work so far with the national team, as in the adjustment made with Ramzan for the players?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I would say, and look, I truly respect the religion. I'm religious as well. So this is Pakistan. This is your country. This is we adapt to it. Football needs to adapt to your religion. Um, what could have been amazing if what was that if the first match could have been played at night time, but
Exactly.
for some reasons that I don't know that we couldn't. It's okay. And then that camp, I will say that we never had a camp that we did one session a day. So this was the first camp ever that we, for obvious reasons, we couldn't do two sessions. Okay, so usually, and from the next camp, hopefully you will see, inshallah, you will see two
Mashallah.
two sessions per day most of the times. So this gives you a lot. This gives you just by multiplication. If you do it in a session 5K of a session, and I put a very simple number of kilometers just to call it, but imagine the time tactically and coaching and the coach and the players. But if you call it physically 5 kilometers in a session where you have 1.2, 1.3 high speed run, and you take multiply that by 20, and then you take that off, then it's different
Exactly.
than yeah, than the difference in two
Mhm.
sessions, one session a day, plus the strength part. Okay, we having, I would say, and I'll mention, but probably the best part where the best place where we prepare the best is Islamabad than Lahore, because we have a really nice setup of a gym in there. So I
Thank
can
you.
I can do a lot. I can do a lot. No,
So Claudio, moving on with the question, what do you think is the future for Pakistan football and for
yeah.
yourself as as an individual?
Sure, that's a great question. All right, for Pakistan, I will divide it in two. For Pakistan, I think we gotta focus on the SAF. Many times, Coach Steven has mentioned it. I think it's these games they've been amazing games, and despite the results, I don't know, but the 3-0, Jordan winning 3-0 against Pakistan, that was an amazing performance. Okay,
Yeah,
same as the first match in Saudi. That was an outstanding performance. We got two goals at the 95th or 90th minute. So we don't need to look at the results right now. I think Saudi and Jordan and Tajikistan, they're in another level than us. And it's not me saying or not saying anything. It's
Exactly.
just football, yeah. They
Asian
got
Cup.
pro players where they get they live out of the game, and they live very well out of the game. So you can really see it. Okay, now for us, challenge will be a really good challenge. Will be teams like the Maldives, Bangladesh, if I can say, Nepal, that we can go and really compete. And this is the moment that I'm sure we will be ready for it, and I'm sure we're gonna get um, result and performance, not only result. Okay, we got to remember that we see it today in EPL. You get the team that plays the worst sometimes wins 2-3-0, and you're like, wow, how? Okay,
Exactly.
yes, it is really important to win, extremely important. Okay,
Okay.
but maybe the other team performed really well, and that's what we're looking both parts in here.
Okay.
And
So just
what
Sorry.
about the
yeah,
Yeah, you
second
sorry,
part?
personally. Personally, this is a great question. In terms of uh look, I'm a person that I'm always studying, okay? I'm always looking forward to get growth and why not? And right now I'm a lot into neuroscience. I'm a lot into cognitive part of training for football players, and this is what I would like to bring up into the next camp. Like small little drills that they can play. They can, yeah, have fun, but they need to think a lot. And I think that's the next level. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're gonna see a lot of that. I don't know if you guys see the Liverpool came with a helmet, and they're measuring a lot of cognitive and decision making parts for a player. Well, I think that's the next level. And personally, again, time here with my daughter, that I can enjoy her, be a dad as well as
exactly.
a practitioner. So going to school now in an hour and a half to pick her up and spend the weekend with her. It's just amazing. Whereas with a club, you don't have that luxury. You have to travel all the time. So I can be both uh, a great practitioner and
It's a great
according to her a great dad.
Uh, That's good. So before we conclude the session, we would do a rapid fire question, a few rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So starting with your favorite footballer.
Oh, my favorite footballer. Uh, is that rapid?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Go again, repeat it.
Your
You
favorite footballer.
I'll give it to Paolo Maldini
Oh, that's a
from
big
great
name.
Italy.
That's
choice.
a big name.
Uh, your
Sorry?
your favorite team. Your
Napoli.
favorite team. Napoli, good.
Napoli.
Your favorite stadium.
Ooh, my favorite stadium. Islamabad after Cambodia 3-1.
That, it is our favorite too now.
Sorry?
It is our favorite too now after the win.
Amazing.
So who's the most
So
hardworking player on the team?
Uh, ooh, I think a few names. A few names. You have Isa, Otis, Nabi, Mamoon, uh, 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 Alamgir. You have a few. Look, all of them. If they listen to this, some of them they will come in. All of them.
no worries, no worries. They'll definitely understand. So the next is a bit India or Pakistan. You have been to both countries.
Pakistan. No, no, I'm serious. Pakistan. 100% Pakistan.
Okay, so that was a good one. So the next is the best moment of your career so far.
Islamabad against, Pakistan against Cambodia.
Yeah, there definitely has to be ours too.
Same for
It
us.
was a great session, Claudio. Something in the end for the fans, for your practitioners, and
Yep.
And
what do you suggest to the fans, to the
mm,
team, and to all of
si-
us?
Yeah,
since
first. Sorry.
since we're playing the Saudi game in 1 month's time, so
Yep.
what would be the message? You know,
Yeah, to come and support us. That's the first one. To come and understand the difference, as I said, between Saudi and us. And get out there and start to watch football, play football, reach out for football, be involved with football. That football is a huge potential in Pakistan, and so far, those ones that they've been to the stadium, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. It's so amazing when I go, I'm the first one to set up the warm up, and I see so many people there. It's just thank you. That has been that helps the players so much when they screen their name, and that is grateful, and thank you. And thank you guys for making this, and thank you for your time. I think really this is important. And so I'll be watching the next episodes for with the next person, if obviously it's in English or if you have subtitles. But thank you for making this, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Claudio, for your time. And that's all
Thank you
from
so much.
today. And I hope we would be connecting soon with some other guest and, of course, with Claudio sometime again.
Thank you. No
Thank,
problems, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
thank
that's
you.
all.